what they say, I'm the A side now.
Errol gave me an opportunity and a shot at becoming the first male boxer, undisputed, you know, in any division in a 4-belt era, and I honor.
Forget the pound-for-pound lists. Forget the titles. When it comes to real boxing excitement, the kind that draws fans from every corner of the sport and even casual viewers, the Crawford vs. Spence rematch is the fight we are still waiting for. And yes, it matters even more than Crawford vs. Canelo.
You know, we signed and contracted to do a rematch, and that's what it is right now.
Do you know when it's going to be, when we can hear?
I don't got no date right now, you know, but I know that's the next fight that Terence Crawford.
The first Crawford-Spence fight was a clear beatdown with no excuses, and Crawford gave Errol Spence Jr. the hardest night of his career, dropping him 3 times and stopping him in the 9th round. And it was clean, tough, and memorable. But in boxing, a one-sided fight does not always close the chapter, and sometimes it makes the rematch even bigger, and that is what showed in their recent face-to-face, and now with both men possibly moving to 154 and Spence hoping to return from what he calls an off night. The story is already set.
His immediate rematch clause?
I don't know if it's gonna be at 54 or 47, but I'm sure I'm sure he's probably gonna push the weight up. But there's gonna be no change in the decision. The performance still is gonna be the same. It might be even a little bit better. So you know he might want to watch out before he activates the rematch clause.
And here is the best part. This rematch could beat Crawford versus Canelo in every way that matters. Post-fight excuses are normal in boxing, but Spence has been open about having issues. Before fighting Crawford, he had been out of the ring for over a year. He was cutting down to 147, maybe for the last time. He had even said before the fight that the cut drained him too much and that he needed to move up. Veterans like Sean Porter and analysts like Tim Bradley also saw that Spence did not look right. He looked stiff, slow, and flat-foot, not the non-stop puncher who has controlled opponents for years. He looked tired and heavy.
Why?
I can't tell you, I wasn't camp.
At the division, he dominated for his entire career. All of a sudden, when it came time for this fight, he looked different. Why?
I wasn't in camp with him, I can't tell you. I don't know if his body finally broke down from being at 147 for too long. I don't know if it was him flying from Dallas to Las Vegas, which has different eating temperatures, and losing weight affects your body.
I just want y'all to realize that Errol Spence is the younger fighter between him and Terence Crawford. He's the bigger fighter between him and Terence Crawford.
Now things will be different. Spence versus Crawford at 154. Both fully rehydrated. No excuses and no edge for either fighter. This could finally be the fight people expected the first time. If you compare it to Crawford versus Canelo, the matchup looks big on paper, AP4P star against AP4P king. But when you look closer, it is not an even fight. Canelo competes at 168, while Crawford only moved from 147 to 154. That is a jump of 21 pounds in weight levels. Crawford is sharp and skilled, but Canelo is a heavy hitter with real power at that size. It might become a smart tactical fight, but one wrong step could end the night instantly.
He gave me that opportunity to fight him. It's only right that if that's what he want to do, I'll give it back to him. Outside of him, I was there.
Bob Arum said it clearly. Canelo is simply too big and too strong. And he would know since he promoted Crawford for more than 10 years. On top of that, the stakes in that fight never felt natural. There was no real history and no personal tension. Most of the hype would come from media talk, not from anything between the fighters. With Spence, the tension is real. The story is personal and fans are already locked in. The first Crawford-Spence PPV pulled around 700K buys, which is strong for a matchup without huge crossover names like Floyd or Canelo. That shows genuine boxing interest. Spence has a comeback angle. Crawford now holds a new belt at 154. Both are healthier, stronger, and better promoted. The first fight left open questions and real emotion behind it.
To make the fight look different in the second time than in the first time. I do believe that, you know, but that's the only thing that I can actually sense because, you know, I would be...
This fight has everything needed to pass 1 million PPV buys, especially if it happens in Vegas again or in a big Texas venue where Spence has huge support. That would be more than many of Canelo's recent fights, even outside his trilogy with Triple G. Remember, Canelo versus Jermall Charlo did not perform well and barely reached 600K buys even with heavy Showtime promotion. Crawford Spence has far more emotion behind it. Another shift is that Terence Crawford is no longer the quiet stay-to-himself fighter. Since the Spence fight, he has shown a more open side, talking more, joking, and calling people out. He knows his worth now, and fans are finally noticing. Interview 7. He told the media in early 2024 that Canelo was not his main focus, and he even said the first Spence fight at 154 meant more to him, and while talking about a rematch he said, he wants both fighters fully healthy and at their best so no one can doubt the outcome later, and this is not about chasing money, it is about building legacy, and you also cannot ignore the noise around Spence because since the loss he has heard fans say he is finished, that the car crash changed him, or that his eye surgeries hurt his timing.
Disputed? Look where he beat. Look where he beat. What he did to Spence, and how he did it. That's 3 fights to me. And it took 4 fights out of Spence, right? Yeah, I'm a fighter, so I can tell you when you get punished like that.
Yeah, I was there ringside watching the fight.
It was years out of, you don't see the years right now, but it sort of takes something out of that person.
Man, you got whooped.
Which rematch?
Crawford and Spence.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know the Spence fans. Spence fans, they hold it out. They believe, they man can get it back.
Yeah, well, that's what makes a fan. So they can hope all they want. I don't want to.
He has heard every bit of criticism, and he wants to shut it all down while Crawford is being told he only beat a weakened Spence, and some people even claim the first fight was not a real test because Errol was not at full strength, and the only answer is a rematch at 154 with no excuses, and that same controversy pushes the excitement even higher, and all the online arguments, the breakdowns, the doubts, and the back end. Fourth, add fuel to the fire, and that is exactly what pulls fans in, and that is what Crawford versus Spence 2 is ready to deliver.
If I want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, so, I'm with it. So, I'll be going for Bud, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he gonna win or lose, but I definitely be going for Crawford, I think.
Errol Spence Jr. is still one of the most discussed names in boxing, not for what he has done lately, but for what he might still do or fail to do, and while Terence Crawford aims for bigger goals, possibly moving up to 168 to face Canelo Alvarez, Spence stands in a tougher spot between wanting redemption and facing doubt, and the Crawford rematch feels like the most honest option, but boxing is also business, and right now, Oscar De La Hoya wants to make a major event by pushing a huge fight between Spence and Virgil Ortiz Jr. in Dallas, a matchup that could rebuild Spence or finish his run altogether.
Make Virgil Ortiz versus Errol Spence Jr. in AT&T Stadium. And I don't want to chime in and talk about it. I think it's kind of irrelevant for Oscar to be called.
The idea isn't venue for a Texas-sized showdown between 2 Texas-born fighters. And if we're talking ticket sales and excitement, that fight could easily draw 60,000 fans. Spence is still a hometown UST hype. De La Hoya told Fight Hype he's already looking at AT&T Stadium, a Texas-sized favorite in Dallas, while Ortiz is the young, undefeated knockout artist just reaching his prime.
Hello everybody, this is Brian Mazik, aka Unique Mazik, and it is my pleasure to talk to boxing icon, the face of Golden Boy Promotions, multiple-time world champion, Oscar De La Hoya. How you doing today, Oscar?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir, man. It is a pleasure to talk to you. One of the first things that I want to ask you is talk about Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s performance. I'm gonna be honest with you, Oscar. I expected him to have trouble.
It is an easy sell, but honestly, it is also a dangerous fight for Spence coming off a 2-year break and a tough loss that hurt his reputation, and Crawford did more than beat him, he dominated him, and that is no exaggeration, making Spence look out of place in the ring, and a loss like that leaves its mark mentally, physically, and on his legacy.
Like, I don't care if it's Booth, I don't care if it's Thurman, I don't care if it's Spence or anybody. Crawford, I really don't care. I would love to fight someone. He's a fighter. I don't think of him, he's just, if he fights us, whatever.
Virgil Ortiz Jr. is not just another top fighter, he is a serious threat at 23 with 21 knockouts. He has been dominating opponents and recently earned a big win over Israel Madrimov, yes, the same Madrimov, who went 12 tough rounds with Crawford at 154, and many, including Canelo Alvarez and Eddie Hearn, thought Crawford might have struggled. Now here is the interesting part: if Crawford had trouble with Madrimov and Ortiz beat him more easily, Ortiz could be an even bigger danger to Spence than people think, and De La Hoya probably sees this too. He is not just setting up a fight, he is going after a weakness, and right now, whether he admits it or not, Errol Spence looks like the target.
Well, I'm trying to fight the best, but I mean, you see that it's not up to it's not under my control. Like if it was under my control, I would have fought the world champions already at 140. I would have fought him at 147. You know,
Fans may not be asking for Spence versus Ortiz just yet, but that could change fast once Canelo fights Skull, and if Crawford does not plan his next bout soon, the Spence-Ortiz fight could become the matchup everyone wants, and the risk for Spence is high. Ortiz has not faced anyone with his experience, but he is young, hungry, and at his best he fights aggressively and is not coming off a hard loss, while Spence has not been in the ring since 2023, and fans last saw him getting dropped bleeding and defeated.
Between Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Errol Spence in Dallas Stadium is generating buzz. Spence hasn't fought since his loss to Crawford, leaving questions about his comeback. Ortiz is in his prime and hungry for bigger challenges. Is this a fair fight or a setup for a comeback story?
The stakes go beyond just wins and losses, they are about legacy. If Spence returns and beats Ortiz, his value jumps and his comeback story is complete, and the Crawford rematch becomes even bigger, but if he loses especially clearly, it could be the end with no rematch, no comeback, no safety NE. Just another caution in a sport full of them, and that is why De La Hoya wants this fight now. It is not just about timing, it is about opportunity. Catch Spence before he is retired or broken. Give Ortiz a major fight. Tap into the Texas fanbase, fill AT&T Stadium, and let the headlines follow.
Young enough to come back from it. I just don't know that Spence was young enough to take that kind of beating at this point. You know, that's where you have the question marks. I think if Spence was 25 years old, for argument's sake, you know, you give that hungry determination to bring you back. But 33. And you're rich. You've made a lot of money already too. It's a bit tougher, I think, to come back from that.
Meanwhile, Crawford is being criticized by Canelo, who says Crawford does not even deserve his undefeated record. In Canelo's opinion, Crawford lost to Madrimov, or at best it was a draw. Crawford did win on the scorecards, but the fight was not convincing. It was awkward, tactical, and lacked the sharpness of his Spence bout. He got the win, yes, but did not make a statement, and that gives Canelo reason to show he does not see Crawford as untouchable, and Eddie Hearn also added that Crawford did not do enough to earn the belt.
He landed a couple of times at the end of the round where he was trying to steal the round, but I just was trying to counter him, but at the same time, he had a good game plan. He had a lot of feints, and I was just trying to dictate when he was going to come. A lot of times I was wrong. I was touching him up with the jab. I think my jab was beating him up all through the fight, but you know, he landed a couple of right hands.
The irony is clear. Crawford dominates Spence, yet gets criticized for a hard win at 154, and now faces backlash for moving up to 168, which many think is too big a jump. Meanwhile, Spence is seen as damaged goods, yet he could still step into a packed stadium and take on a powerhouse like Ortiz.
I wanted to see that immediately after that fight, but now time has kind of ran its course. I just don't want to see that. That's all. I believe Errol Spence is a generational talent, great fighter. What happened to him in Bud, I don't want to see that.
You don't think he'll put a better fight this time, man, the second time around?
I don't even believe if they move up and weight.
Crawford is not just a technical master in the ring, he is showing he can control the story outside it too. His recent appearance on the Pound for Pound podcast with Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo shook the boxing world. When asked about Errol Spence Jr., the fighter he beat in July 2023, Crawford was honest. He said Spence is not Hall of Fame material and made subtle jabs at his record, pointing to what he sees as weak achievements and an underwhelming welterweight career. I could retire right now and be in the Hall of Fame. He couldn't, Crawford said directly.
Right now? No, how? He fought in one division. Yeah, the WBC, WBA. No, he wasn't. No, what I'm saying is they already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
You know what I mean? That's a good win. I'm still a fan. I hope he do well. But like, once it got to the point where I moved up in weight and I'm in the same weight as Spence, it's just like, oh man, you ain't fighting nobody. You this, you that, you this, you that. So now they trying to blemish my accomplishment.
He pointed out that Spence has only fought in one division, never unified all the belts, and never became undisputed, and people already call him a weight bully. He said sure, Spence beat Kell Brook after a loss and an eye injury, and yes, he beat Sean Porter, but Crawford added he does not see those wins as very impressive, and to be fair, the numbers do give some support to Crawford's argument.
Right now? No, how? He fought in one division. They already called him a weight bully. He beat Kell Brook coming off of a loss, an eye injury. He beat Sean Porter.
In all fairness, he had to go over there to get that.
Like I said, you know what I mean? That's a good win.
Alright, everyone stay tuned for all the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Glovelord and turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and make sure to check out our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.